Hello, welcome to Paul's Take, and this is my take on nanotechnology. It's you, by all means. Hold on a second. Sorry. As normal, I was behind schedule and throwing this together at the last minute because I was busy with other things. But I want to try out this new mic, but I'm not because the new mic didn't realize at the very last second, it's not going to work. So I'm kind of doing this kind of a cheap MacGyver style, using my old mic and a microphone because it was on my. I had a mic on my lavalier mic. I'm actually using it now, but I'm taped it onto my microphone, real fancy like. This is a new microphone, but I'm having technical difficulties right now. So I know it works, but it doesn't work with this one camera. It works with a different camera, but the other camera wouldn't work with Go Live on YouTube. So here I am with the old mic and talking about nanotechnology. That's right. If you're not familiar with nanotechnology, I have a definition right here. Let's see. This says nanotechnology, noun. The branch of technology that deals with dimensions and tolerances of less than 100 nanometers, especially the manipulation of individual atoms and molecules. Now that, my friends, is pretty small. All right. So nanotechnology, though, well, my understanding of it, I'm not by any means an expert on nanotechnology, but I am an expert on theories. Sort of. My own expert. Degree of P&S or BS. So nanotechnology is like this little tiny, super small computer, robot, yeah. And it's so small and it can manipulate atoms, right? And apparently, and molecules, so we're super small. And they can make things, right? So you sprinkle some of these nanobytes on a table, come back in a week, and it builds you a helicopter. That's the whole idea of nanotechnology based on their programming, right? Well, doesn't that seem very similar to something else we know about, like sprinkling on some cells and feeding it, and it grows into people like you and me? So we're like an organic nanotechnology. Maybe we're not even that organic. Maybe we're just more mechanical, but in such a small way we don't even see it. Well, we do have these DNA that programs everything, right? It programs the cells. It's like an organic nano thing. So maybe you and I, we're just a bunch of robots, organic robots. And who is who is the controller? Who's the builder? Who built these nanobots? That's what I want to know. I don't know. Maybe it was you in the future. Maybe it's maybe it's aliens. Maybe in the future you'll realize that in a sense we can figure out how to make our own organic things. So instead of using your laser, what do they call those? 3D printers? You know what I'm saying? They could do organic 3D printers. You could create a living vehicle, a living, I don't know, friend or something, living technology. And that'd be some kind of like, I'm sure there'd be like debates on the morality of it because if it's alive and you're just using it to drive you around like a horse, I mean, basically it's like a horse, right? We're using a live animal to travel around, at least they did back in the day. So it was like organic nanotechnology for the use of mankind. So, so are we gonna? Is that the next level? First is nano, and then it's organic. And we have organic rockets. There was a movie I think way back when. It was about a spaceship that was alive. You know what I'm saying? They were able to create a living spaceship. And who's to say? Because we're so primitive that maybe that's what the aliens are using organic stuff. I had a sighting, and I did say I was going to talk about it. So maybe now is the time to talk about my sightings, my UFO sightings. I actually had two real life ones. They're both in Los Angeles, right? And it kind of goes together, believe it or not. This is actually going to tie in together with what we're talking about. So I was in Los Angeles, Marina Del Rey, to be precise. And I'm laying by the window, get a sofa or bed, no sofa by the window, and I was laying back and I was looking out the window and I was waiting for my girlfriend to get ready for something. So I'm just sitting there waiting, doing nothing. I wasn't watching TV. I was just looking out the window, looking at the clouds, kind of a cloud guy, sky guy. But anyway, so I'm looking at the clouds. And then I kind of noticed this, maybe a balloon, right? Something like that. It was in the sky and it was sitting there. And it wasn't like, oh, look, there's a balloon. I was like kind of spaced out and I'm just looking. And I'm looking at this thing. And it took like a while, but it's like, is that a balloon? What is that? So I'm looking at it and it's not moving. That was kind of what it caught me. And also, usually balloons are like really nice, cool colors, like red or blue or pink or something like that. Well, this one was like an off-white, almost like a pearl white, I guess. It's just sitting there, a pearl white balloon in the sky. But I didn't see any string. I didn't see the little kind of formation of a balloon, which is a little, kind of big on top like my head, and on the bottom was kind of small like this. So I didn't see that. It just looked it looked more like an orb. It's a round ball, right? I wouldn't say perfect ball, but it was ballish. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, is that a UFO? And I've heard about orbs before. I've seen orbs on TV. And I'm like, that could be an orb. Maybe. So, but what really caught my attention was, so I'm thinking, first I'm still thinking it's like a balloon. But then the clouds just start floating by it. Like I'm an orb, right? And the clouds are just going right by it. And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm not no scientist, but shouldn't that balloon be riding with the wind? If it was little, it wasn't really windy, but it was breezy enough for the clouds to go by. So I was like, I think that is, what in the world? That's an UFO orb thing. So I called my girlfriend, which is my wife now. It's probably it was probably the UFO sent down some love potion number 9 on us. We fell in love that day, but we never really noticed. Maybe. So anyway, so I call her out. She sees it. We're watching this thing in the sky. It's like right overhead, and we're watching this thing for a while, for I mean a good while. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to get a picture of this thing. So I do. I run in and excuse me. Let's see. I just make an adjustment real quick. Make a little adjustment. Okay. And I run in and grab my camera and I snap some pictures. But unfortunately, the orb was so far away. And cameras, believe it or not, are kind of wide angled. So when you're doing a wide angle to a sky, you don't see anything. It didn't come out, unfortunately. But I'm looking at it. I would say probably a good 10 minutes already gone by. Literally 10 minutes. That's a long time. So I was able to go back inside, grab my binoculars. Well, no, actually, no, that's not true. I went inside to get my binoculars. So I'm looking for them. I don't remember where I put them. So I'm like, we're going through the closets, going through my stuff. I'm like, where the heck did where did my binoculars go? So after a while, I went back out, and it was gone. So when I went back inside, it was gone. So maybe I went back inside for 3 minutes or 4 minutes. But I was out there for like 10, a good 10 minutes. So that was pretty wild. It wasn't very exciting though. It was just there. And I had another experience with another orb, which was very similar looking to like to the other one, like the first one. But this time I was driving, and I was living near LAX airport, you know, and plane was flying out. It was flying out, just taking off from LAX, taking off, mind its own business. And as it's flying, it's kind of banking a little bit. It's banking and taking off. And behind the plane, that was, let's see here, I would say probably another 4 plane lengths behind it was an orb following it. And as the plane was flying off, the orb was following it, just trailing it, just like that. And of course, I was driving, so I couldn't watch it that long, and I couldn't really see because the plane took off. But that was much faster. But I saw it very clearly, and that one was a little more exciting because it was actually moving, and it moves right along with the airplane. So, weird. But, but my gut feelings when I was actually watching, I didn't feel like it was really like organic. I felt like live video, I tell you, things just don't want to cooperate. I'll try it again. What do you think? Nobody was watching anyways. All right. So I felt like didn't feel like you see a plane, you know what I'm saying, or a car. It's metal. It's hard. It's got distinctive features to it. It's got edges. It's got creases. It's got where metal come together. They got doors. They got windows. They got all these different things. Well, the orbs didn't have any distinctive features to it. It was just a round orb. So it's like I had a sense it wasn't from outer space. That was my gut feeling. My gut was, it's just this thing that we don't understand. It's like some kind of energy or some kind of spirit, maybe. Something that we didn't quite understand, but it was there. So, tying back to my nanotechnology, I think that, I don't know, I had a point. I forgot the point. I got tied into my my UFOs. But whatever. This is this is a free, open topics. I don't stick to one topic. I'm just doing a little show for 30 minutes every night. Maybe not on the weekends, but I'm here. I really was trying to try out my new mic, and then I got in the mindset of doing a show, and I didn't even get a chance to prepare. But so anyhow, how you doing today? Did you have a nice day? Did you have a nice week? I had a really interesting. It was a pretty wild week overall. I think myself and going around in the world, starting off with that crazy explosion in the Middle East somewhere. Where was that? I don't know. Someplace. But that explosion was insane. So we had that, and then when I was at work, we had a big old accident. I didn't have it. I was not directly involved, but I was there. I got video of it. It's doing really well. That's important. But we had that. We had some other stuff going on. It's just we got the president today talking about stimulus money. I didn't really catch all of it, but I don't think I'm getting a check. I don't think any of us are getting that $1,200 stimulus money. That would be nice. I don't really need it per se. I got a job, got income, knock on wood. But it's always nice to work on those bills. That would be nice. And then now I'm hearing that the Democrats, they want to sue the president for the stimulus money because I don't know why. I didn't even hear the reason why. I guess because they didn't like the way he went about doing it, so they want to sue him. I don't know. Politics. Everything's politics. There's nothing non-politics. They will use everything for their own agenda. Don't follow the politics. If you believe anything you hear 100%, I mean, I'm open mind to it. Don't get me wrong. Not to say that everything you're saying is lies, but man, I don't believe the news anymore. Back when we were younger, you trusted the news to be impartial, right? Didn't you trust the news a little bit? I mean, I did. You thought they say something and it's, but then now if you watch Fox and you watch CNN, they're two parallel universes. You are living in two parallel universes, and you're right next to each other. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is click the channel a few, and you can hear either the president's doing a great job, he's like doing the best president ever. Click the channel. He's the devil in person. He's a Nazi. He's Hitler. He's all them horrible people. And it's amazing. It's amazing. What do I think? I try not to get into politics, but I'll tell you this though. It seems like to me that the Democrats are saying that Trump and all his people are these racist, horrible people. They're going to ruin America. They're disgusting. But then but they're not doing anything, right? They might say, maybe somebody said something stupid, but these are people. You got not one person's define the whole party, Democrat or Republican. You can't go on the street, see one idiot, and say, "See, these are the Republicans. See, he's dumb. He says something stupid." So that's the Democratic Party, the Republican Party. No, you're going to have stupid people on both sides. Obviously, if you're focusing only on the stupid person, and if people believe that, oh, you know what I saw on CNN? They said they got this guy, this Republican said the craziest things you ever heard in your life. These are the craziest things. That's how the Republicans are. That's why. That's why I don't like them. It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, there's a ton of very intelligent Republicans and very intelligent Democrats, which always makes me wonder, how are these? I mean, I understand the stupid people. I understand the stupid people will follow whoever they like. My mama was a Democrat, so I gotta be a Democrat. She said the Republican is the devil. So, and then, so some people are just followers, right? I'm not saying which way to go, but I mean, of course, I have my side, but I kind of leaning towards now. Um, but but there's just people with blind obedience on both sides, and people, I heard a very interesting statistic. They don't talk about this very often in the news. I don't think I've ever heard it anywhere. I think I had to look at the dark web or something to find this one. But did you know? Get ready for this. This one was a shocker. That 50% of all the people in the United States, in the world, 50% have below average intelligence. What? You never really think about it that way, right? It's like, are you dumb or something? Well, I mean, really, the spectrum. It's funny because when you see somebody that's crazy smart, like I'm not, I'm probably like right there on that 50%. I'm probably a tightrope, but it probably depends on the day. I could be on one side or the other side, so I'm on the fence. I think most people are kind of that way, where they have a subject matters or whatever. They're on the fence, right? And I'm definitely on the fence. I have my good days where I'm like, wow, damn, I'm pretty smart. Did you see what I just did? What I said? How I figured that out? Nobody else did. And then some days, it's like, oh, you're talking too fast. Could you please slow down? Oh, what in the world? What does that bug buddy mean when he wants that carrot? I don't get it. So, yeah. But, so I understand there's going to be blind, dumb followers. And the dumb ones. And I'm not saying Democrat or Republican. They got dumb both sides for sure. Okay, and you got smart people, but the dumb ones, that's where you get the really good, juicy comments from. You know what I'm talking about? You're like, oh my God, you're stupid. But then they have the smart people. And there's definitely smart people on both sides. There's people, I've met a few people where I'm like, this guy's so smart. I can't, I don't want to hang out with this guy. He might figure me out. He probably did. He's so smart, you know. And so some people are just like, whoa, you're on another level. And it seems like the curve, I think it's like a bell curve on both sides, I guess. So you have like, the middle, probably realistically, the middle is probably pretty flat. I think most people are running on a pretty, you know, it's like a level's kind of like this, right? There's some people are smarter and some people are, but they're pretty close, right? They're pretty close. Between this guy and this guy is pretty close. But then it just drops off. Like, or either go up, you like just shoot up. Easier to raise these smart people to just shoot up, but it's not a very big percentage. It's like a small percentage of the people are sick smart. Just like they're on a different level. And on both sides, and then the opposite is true on the backside, where there's a small percentage. The bottom probably, I think there's probably more on the bottom side. I'll say like 10% on the bottom side that are just you're not even sure how they even survive life. Like, how do you even pay your bills and get to work? It blows your mind. And then the other side is like, they must be really lonely because they probably can't talk to anybody. You know what I'm talking about? He's like, I don't know, maybe Elon Musk. I'm not sure if he's super smart or super motivated. I think if you're super motivated, super just inspired, then you can accomplish a lot. Not necessarily being, if you're super driven, you'd necessarily be super smart, but it might seem that way because you're so driven. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, oh my gosh, super driven. Is he really all that smart? I'm sure he's up there. Don't get me wrong. He's not a dumb guy. I'm sure he's a smart guy. But is he as smart as his wealth and success portrays, I guess? Because he's done probably more than anybody on the planet, pretty much. Mr. Olympia, box office superstar, you know, and you could tell. I mean, you know, he acted well enough for his roles, but he wasn't way up there in the talented. I mean, he was talented enough. He wasn't super talented as an actor, right? He was good enough. He was good, he was entertaining. He has a lot of character, a lot of personality. He's almost as big as me, so you know that plays a part of it. But he wasn't super great. But then he's also a businessman. He ran his business. He was a governor of one of the seventh largest economies in the whole world, California. And I went to one of his rallies. I wasn't really that impressed. Just he had some talking points, and he just repeated the talking points over and over again. And but the guy, he says, you have 18 hours a day to get stuff done. Don't waste those 18 hours. So he's saying sleep 6 hours and work 18. Most people are not that driven. He went to, at one point, he was in college full time, worked full time, and was a bodybuilder full time. That's impossible. Who else can do that? Who else has that drive? I'd be like, I need a nap. Nap time. All right, well, let's wrap this baby up. We all know that your nanotechnology, you were designed by some kind of futuristic alien species, other dimensional energy. You were just a shell that was designed to grow and deteriorate. You could have been designed to stay alive forever. You could have. The technology was there. They could have done that. Whoever made people has the technology to keep you alive forever. But he didn't do that. They didn't do that. Maybe you didn't do that. Maybe you created yourself. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe we're just like, you throw in a video game, and this time I'll be Paul from Paul's Take. Next time, maybe I'll be somebody else. Or probably just an antenna. That's what they say. I think, really, it's funny because, like, we're so used to being in the material world of, you know, hard nuts and bolts kind of world. But actuality, we're probably a spiritual being, and we design this material world for fun, for maybe school, for learning experiences, for whatever. But I think that this is not the norm. This is the game. This is the Atari. This is the or this is like the Microsoft Xbox or something. This is it. This is the fake. The real is the spirit. But who created this? That's the question. Who did it? I think we did it to ourselves. I think we are our own. Well, like to not potentially you per se, but it's like now in this material world that we live in now. You guys have mechanics. You guys have programmers. So maybe it's the programmers of that spiritual world that created this material world, so we can hang out, party, do stuff, learn things. Anyhow, tell me what you think. Uh, and I will maybe make a comment, or I can always use ideas for shows. I'm always running late. I'm always having on a schedule. So make sure you hit like, subscribe for more of my shows. Uh, Thanks for watching Paul's Take, and this is a third shift show. Paul's Take on the third shift. Thanks for watching. Make sure to stay off.